What is going on, guys? It is Epic Video Game Master here with another video. This time is going to be something a little bit different. We are going to be talking and showing how to make Mesos. So, before I get into anything and show you guys anything, I'd like to tell you guys a little bit about making Mesos and just how to look at it, how to go about it, and just in general how to do it. And then I'll show you guys some methods that are current, but just letting you guys know, the method of making Mesos usually changes every few months or so. And you can't stick to one method. You got to keep with the system, otherwise you'll fall behind and you'll bank everything into something and lose everything. Alright, so let's get into this little bit of an analogy for you guys. So, we have our teenagers, we have our middle-aged business people, and then we have our retired people. So our teenagers are the ones who are grinding out their time at these restaurants, and in real life, not Maplestory. In Maplestory, you can't grind out time at restaurants, but the teenagers, they're putting in those work at dry cleaners, restaurants, and McDonald's, Subway, trying to earn that little buck, that little bit of money, and trying to just get by and doing, the bottom feeder jobs, kind of like, no offense to anybody who works those jobs, but like for teenagers, it's almost like the bottom feeder jobs. All right, so now who are these teenagers' customers, you may ask? Now, these teenagers' customers are usually those business people, those middle-aged men who don't have the time to complete these simple tasks themselves. Now, let me give you a bit of an example. So let's say a guy who works in an office has to wear a suit every day. He doesn't have the time because he's working 10 hours a day from 9 to 7 or whatever, let's just say an analogy. And he doesn't have the time, ladies and gentlemen, to dry clean his suit every single time. So what he does is he goes to one of these dry cleaning places where these teenagers are working. Now, I don't know which teenager works at a dry cleaning place, but let's just stick with it for the analogy here. Or, let's say, he goes to one of these dry cleaning places and he pays these teenagers to do the job for him because he doesn't have the time to do it himself. But here's the thing, he needs that suit to go to work. Without that suit, he can't go to work naked, he'll get fired. But, without that suit, he can't go to work. But he needs to pay somebody a little bit of money to get that suit dry cleaned so that he can go to his job and make a lot of money, even more money. And so, he just doesn't have the time. And then he doesn't have the time to eat dinner, so he goes to Subway and he pays people, or he goes to McDonald's and he just pays people to make him food. And he eats it quickly, and so that he can, once again, get back to making more money. But he needs that food and he needs those suits in order to make the money. Now there's the retired people. There's those people who have already made all their money. They're finished their full-time grind, their work, and then they retire and they can just spend all their money on mansions and golfing and whatever retired people do, like yachts and boats and things. I'm not exactly sure what retired people do, but so now you guys may be asking, how does this relate to Maplestory? Well, it's kind of like a chain. It's like a chain system. You have to find your role on the chain and stay in your role and move up the chain like a ladder, kind of. Consider it like a ladder. We start off as noobs on the bottom step of the ladder, and we gotta step our way up. You can't just gallop up to the top of the ladder unless you're like a boss, like a baller. Those ballers, unless you're like LeBron James, 6'8" with 50-something inch vertical, then maybe you can gallop your way up to the top of the ladder. But you guys get what I'm saying. You have to step your way up step by step. And so now you guys might be asking, how does this relate to Maplestory? Well, when making Mesos in Maplestory, it's the same sort of feel. So we have our noobs here who are grinding out ores and things and time-consuming things. Elite bosses is these noobs, and these lower people, we take these things, the rewards that we get from doing these tasks, and we sell them to the business people. And those business people take all those chaos cubic blades and all those adamantanium ores and plates and item crystals and things, and he makes them into Mesos cubes, and I don't know, he make potential scrolls and or protection scrolls and whatever he needs to make, and he sells those for 200 mil or 300 mil each, and he sells them for even more. You know what I'm saying? It's the same idea in real life. When the teenager's working at Subway, the business person comes and pays the teenager so that the business person can get their food, go to work, and make more money. So in this case, we'll call in Maplestory, we'll call them the number 1, 2, and 3 in the ranks. So number 2 doesn't have time to be grinding out all these ores, farming these elite bosses. He just doesn't have the time. You know, he really needs these cubes. He's got, you know, customers, people. I call them business people. He's got people waiting, and he just doesn't have the time to farm all these cubes. So what he does is he pays people like you and I to go ahead and farm these things for him. Now, I'm gonna get into a little bit of how to find your role on the chain. Now, first, if you're new to Maplestory, well then, or if you've lost a lot and really trying to get it back, you're in that 0 to 100 million Meso range. Now we're gonna get started into that. So first is gonna be the 0 to 100 million Meso range. All right, so from 0 to 100 million Mesos, you want to simply go around the FM. At least this is how I like to do it. You can do it however you like, but as long as you keep that analogy in mind as you do this. All right, so go around the FM, the free market, for those of you who don't know, and find the shop. Go into the shops, like where the numbers are, and find a shop with a buy tab. Now, when I say a buy tab here, I'll show it right here on screen. It's when you click on the shop and then it says sell and then buy. What that means is that person who owns the shop is actually buying those items from people for the prices listed below. So what you can do is find a shop with these buy tabs, scroll through and see, well, first see if you have anything in your inventory that they're buying, and then make sure they're not buying it for like 1 Meso or something ridiculous. Like, check around the FM, see the prices, make sure it's a reasonable price they're buying it for, and then you want to go ahead and sell it to that person. Now, after you sell it to that person, go through and find things that are really, really easy to obtain. For example, this person here had adamantanium ores for he was buying them for 75,000 Mesos each. So what I did is I went on each of my 4 characters and I spent about 20 minutes in the mine, and I got about 80 to 100 adamantanium ores per session in the mine, and I sold them all to this guy for a grand total of like, what was it, like 20 something mil. So in about an hour and a bit, I made 20 something mil. So excuse me. So that's a really good start. Now in this particular example here, it just so happened that this guy was buying clean slate scrolls as well. Clean slate scroll 10% are selling for 21 million Mesos. Now, well, it just so happened that I was fighting in the stronghold and I was actually filming a video. I was gonna film elite boss spawn in the stronghold, and I was gonna upload it like that. But it just so happened that from this elite boss run, I actually got clean slate scroll 10%. So I went back to this guy and I sold it to him for 21 mil, as you see here. Now, usually these guys with the buy tabs, they're usually buying elite boss drops or ores or plates, you know, and any type of crafting material, whether it's item crystals. So I'm going to explain to you guys how to get these things. So if they're buying elite boss drops such as cubic blades, chaos scrolls, clean slate scroll 10%, etc., you just want to fight in any map, level 30 or above, I believe, or no, even under. And if you get 20 elite monsters to spawn, after you kill 20 elite monsters, an elite boss will spawn. So you want to get a buddy or a pal and go and grind out in a map for a little bit, and you should be able to get an elite boss to spawn. Once that elite boss spawns, you destroy it, and then a bunch of loot will rain from the sky. You want to focus on those purple boxes. I just keep spamming Z. I don't know if you have to, like the pickup button, the loot pickup button, and just like go for those purple boxes with the yellow circles around them, as you saw when my Demon Slayer over there was getting when he was getting his rewards from that elite boss. So you want to go for those, and that's where you get all those equipment. Now, as you can see here, I'm in the mine, and I'm simply just mining out some ores because I knew this guy was buying adamantanium ores, or adamantium, whatever, however you say that word. And he was buying adamantium ores, and he was just buying them for 75k each, and he was buying the plates for 250k. Now, the reason I didn't craft them into plates is because when you craft them into plates, some of them will turn into brown powders, and I didn't want that to happen. And he was only buying the plates for 20. It takes 3 ores to make a plate, and 3 ores will sell for 225k, and he was buying the plates for 250k. So if, let's say, out of 100, let's say 10 of them turn into powders, I'm losing more Mesos than just selling the ores to him. Whereas if he was buying the plates for 300k, then I would go ahead and craft them into plates. Now, don't stick to one thing. So you notice here I'm doing adamantium ores, or adamantanium. I don't know how to say that word, honestly, guys. But you notice here I'm sticking to those. Don't follow that. You know, just go around and find these guys in any world. Usually they're everywhere with the buy tabs, and just find what they're buying and find the easiest thing that you know you can obtain, and get it and then sell it to him. And that is a really fast way. Make sure it's a reasonable price. And that is how I like to make Mesos, ladies and gentlemen. That is my tips and tricks. And here's some tips and tricks. Just get some buddies together and make sure that you do it. And also go around the maps and look for the mysterious veins and like the giant heart stones and all those things, because those give a lot of plates and things that these guys are buying as well. They also, you gotta buy luck crystals, dex crystals, you know, dark crystals, all those things as well. Now when they're buying item crystals, like intermediate item crystals are selling for a lot, what you can do is you can craft these adamantium plates. If they're not buying adamantium ores or plates, but they're buying item crystals for a lot, intermediate item crystals, craft these adamantium plates, then craft the Nimble Ring 2. After you craft the Nimble Ring 2, you want to extract it. Usually people have 1 Meso extractors, or even if like 5 Mesos, 5k, whatever. You want to extract them, and you have a chance of getting 3 intermediate item crystals, 1, 2, or 3. So you want to go ahead and do that. Now, also make sure you guys are taking advantage of events. We got this attendance check where you can get a lot of spell traces that you can go ahead and just spam in the FM and sell. We're getting scrolls and things that you can upgrade your equipment to help yourself get stronger. Alright, so another good way of making Mesos, ladies and gentlemen, is bossing. Now, if you're a pro, or if you have good damage range, and you want to get like a bunch of people together and go into a Golux run, that is honestly the best way to make Mesos, because if you just happen to get like a good drop, a earring or a belt or something, each Golux belt selling for like 10-20 mil for reinforced, and superiors are just, the price for superiors, if you can get that hell mode Golux or whatever it is, then you are just chilling out there, you know, like a baller shooting hoops in the park. But yeah, so you want to go bossing. I think the Root Abyss bosses, Hilla, and any type of boss. Also, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, they drop a ton of potions. So you want to take those potions that they drop and sell them, you know, those sunset dews and stuff, and you can actually make like 500, 600k per boss run. And if you go into easy Zakum twice per day, that's like a free mill just sitting there for you. And it takes, if you're level 140, you should be able to do it, kill them in like 3 hits. So it's really awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. It makes me feel fantastic inside, and you guys are all epic. We're pushing on that 1,000 subscriber mark, and I really hope that I can hit that. If we hit that, there'll be some serious changes to the channel. We're going to be doing some Q&As as well as some giveaways and things. So let's get to that 1,000 subscriber mark, and you guys are awesome, and keep being epic out there. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.